Hi, I'm Doug Donnelly, and you're watching Cecil TV. Across the country, in our state, and particularly in our own county, nothing about this year's election season is normal. Delays in holding the primary, redistricting, as well as the rise of fringe ideologies have played a part in making this election far from business as usual. Into this mix, we add two vigorous write-in campaigns run under the Protect Cecil banner. We welcome Phyllis Kilby, a former businesswoman, farmer, and former county commissioner, and this year a write-in candidate for Cecil County District 4. Phyllis, we're glad you could be with us this evening. November 8th is 3 weeks away. How is your campaign going?
Doug, who knows? We're doing everything we can possibly do. Obviously, we have a very shoestring budget, so we can't do anything like polling, and I'm not so sure that I put a lot of faith in polling anymore. It hasn't been doing so well in the recent past. So I'm very positive, though, because we have a lot of support from a lot of different segments of the county. And signs are up everywhere. We're doing radio ads. We've got a couple billboards up. So, we're going to plow right on for 3 weeks.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know who you are, I can't imagine there are many people who don't know who you are. Can you give us a brief summary of your background and how it is you've been called back to politics?
I've been in Cecil County for over 50 years. We have a dairy farm, and at one point I was a county commissioner for 8 years in the county, and that's been 20-some years ago. We started a small business off the dairy farm, Kilby Cream, making ice cream. So I've been part of the community in various segments of it for all my life. I've volunteered in a lot of organizations, been in a lot of agriculture organizations. At one point worked for Cecil Community College in the Family Support Center. So I've done a lot of things in my life, and I know a lot of people.
I'll bet. So, greater transparency and checks and balances seem to be an important part of the Protect Cecil campaign. Can you talk about why it is important from a voter's perspective?
Transparency is extremely important because the citizens in the county need to know what's going on in their government. I've noticed the longer I've been digging into this particular administration that while the initial platform that this administration was running on was transparency, there seems to be no transparency now. If you just look at the county administration building, which is locked down like a fortress, citizens really don't know what's going on. Transparency is extremely important. Checks and balances was it, yeah.
Also, financial accountability.
Oh, financial.
And speaking of financial accountability, $20 million of rescue plan money has so far been unallocated. What plans do you think the administration has for that?
At this point, it's hard to know because, as I said, there's no transparency, so there's no indication from this administration exactly where they're going to use that money. There are so many needs in the county, so many things that this money could be used for. One example would be there is a medical clinic run in Rising Sun by Dr. Widener and Dr. Ma for the Hispanic population in the community. They could desperately need some money to expand their services and support their services. There's just untold needs throughout the county, and it seems like this administration is just sitting on this money. We've asked one of our senators if they could show us exactly what the administration said they were going to use the money for, because it's my understanding that there was supposed to be a detailed plan before they actually even got the money.
Oh.
I haven't been able to dig that plan up anywhere. So you know.
And I mean, I tried to look at the rules for it. It's like 400 pages of rules. It was all done so rapidly. Anyway, our schools seem to be caught between two universes. On one hand, there are highly vocal advocates for greater parental control over curriculum and books, and an acceptance that maintenance of effort of funding is just fine, a subject your opponent has weighed in on. And alternatively, the schools suffer teacher shortages, difficulty providing psychological support for students who need it, and an inability to address maintenance issues. Is there anything tangible that the council can do to help these matters?
The council's hands are tied when it comes to budget issues. All they can do is advocate for whatever they think needs to be done. But my point is, while the council doesn't have any direct say in creating the budget, they can raise issues, they can raise questions, they can alert the citizens to what's going on, and hopefully get the citizens to put the pressure on the administration to do what is actually needed to be done.
Right. Okay. Under the administration of Dr. McCarthy, the county engaged in some highly visible investments in infrastructure, parks, the Northeast Library, as well as promoting the enterprise zones to attract the logistics industry, all while adhering to the comprehensive plan. Public sentiment about these investments is a mixed bag. As a council person, what kind of development would you advocate for?
I would look, particularly if you're talking about economic development, I'm very much in the camp of doing a diverse economy. You need to have agricultural industries, you need to support them. You need to have small businesses, you need to support them. You need to have, if you can, lure tech sector to you. And you have to continue to support the big businesses that we have in the county. But I think one of the problems with the opposite sentiment in the county is that they're not thinking this through. If you have economic development and you have businesses coming into the county, one of the things that draws those businesses into the county is a good educational system.
Right.
You can't have a good top-notch educational system on maintenance of effort. I've done my research. I've talked to teachers, I've talked to counselors, I've talked to administrators, and they're just being stretched to the breaking point. They're down something like 20 or 30 teachers.
Right. Middle school classes with 40 kids in them.
Well,
That sounds like a nightmare to me.
Well, and think about, on the opposite end of that, think about kindergarten classes with 28 5-year-olds and no aides. All you get done is take backpacks off and help kids to get settled. How do you actually do any learning and all that? So class sizes are going up, and teachers are being asked to do 2 or 3 jobs instead of the one job that they were hired to do, which was to teach. There's a lot of talk about discipline in the schools is out of control. Well, let's think about that. Now, if we had more teachers and smaller class sizes, we could have more counselors to help with some of these situations. Don't you think discipline problems might go down a little bit? But we don't think past, maintenance of effort.
I tried to extract from your opponent her recognition of the fact, which I recognize, that they talk about, you often hear government should be run like a business. Well, Government is not a business. It's not a household. It's like people say all kinds of crazy things. But what is common to businesses and individuals and so forth is investment. You invest for the future, for the rainy day, for your retirement. Investing in education, going beyond maintenance of effort, is investing in our kids. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It's like, I could go on and on. But and we're here to talk to you. So
that's okay. No, let me add this. No investment in children is a waste of money, no matter how you invest it, whether it's in education, whether it's in helping provide parks and rec services, arts, anything like that. No investment in children is wasted. It comes back to you.
Right. And I mean, Bill Malish quoted that figure the other night that a dollar invested in education comes back into your local economy 4 or 5 times over.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, Phyllis Kilby, candidate for Cecil County Council District 4. We're very thankful that you've been here tonight, and thanks for coming, and good luck.
Thank you. I hope I can count on your vote, and everybody else's too.
Yes. Okay.